No, this video is about the family. The last name is Woodcraft. Now Lawrence Woodcraft, he actually did the I think he built some buildings for them or something. And I looked at his name and said, yeah, this nigga would be some form of an architect. I think they say he is an architect. And with the name Woodcraft. That's what I'm saying. These people really come in their names.
Lawrence Woodcraft raised two daughters in Scientology. Lawrence, Astra, and Zoe have since left the group, and Astra has had a daughter of her own. They came back to Clearwater, Florida to tell their stories to the Lisa McPherson Trust. Astra spoke to Stacy Brooks about Scientology's impact on their family and the dramatic steps she took to escape from Scientology.
The story of Kate.
This is Kate Woodcraft. Kate, you want to say hi to the camera? Say hi to everybody. Astra, why don't you tell us the story of Kate?
I have been in the Sea Org for about 4 years at this point, and I was 19, and I hadn't been happy the whole time.
See, the man said they were not happy. She said she's not happy. She wasn't happy.
But I'd never really admitted it. And then my dad's mother died, and I was able to get a week off to go to her funeral in England. So I spent some time.
She was able to get a week off. She was able to get a week off.
My family, I hadn't seen my family in England for 10 years. I spent some time with my dad. I hadn't been able to spend a lot of time with him for the whole time I was in the Sea Org. And it just dawned on me that I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to be able to see my family. I knew I'd never ever be able to go back to England and see my family again. And
these people have money. They're going to England. They have money.
I knew I would hardly be able to see my dad because I had already been told I wasn't allowed to see him other than this trip. But I had never said, I want to leave. I had never said I'm not happy, because if you want to leave, it takes like a year, 6 months to a year. You
Listen
have to do hard
to this.
labor. You have to wear gross clothes, and you're put under watch. Someone's watching you the whole time.
If you want to leave, you have to do hard labor and wear gross clothes. If you want to leave, wow.
And they call you a degraded being.
What does that mean?
See?
That means you're like a criminal, like a bad
So they are emotionally abusing you.
person, like scumbag. And the staff refer to you that way. The commanding officer, Ron Norton, would regularly go up to the staff who wanted to leave and say, "Are you still a degraded being?" And they'd have to say yes if they still wanted to leave. So every single staff member is going to sneer at you, look down on you. It's just a horrible feeling. And then you're trapped for 6 months because,
you're trapped for 6 months. It takes a year to leave. You have to do hard labor as though you are in prison, and you wear nasty clothes. Then you're trapped.
People would say, "Why can't you just walk away?" But I have my mom, I have my brother, and I have my sister and my grandma in the Sea Org. If I just walked away, they'd never ever speak to me again. And I couldn't take that at that point, So it was partly that I couldn't stand the idea of 6 months to a year of hard labor, but it was more that
I can't say she does have a good baby. Her baby will fall asleep. She has a good baby. And she doesn't say kid. She says child and children.
I knew they would just change my mind back, because that's what
Check this out.
happened. That's what one of my jobs was, to change people's minds back.
You heard that? One of her jobs was to be a handler. She doesn't say that. She said my job was to change people's minds back. That's a handler.
Who wanted to leave.
But how did you do that?
Well, it's just duress. You're out ethics, which means you do bad things. You've done bad things.
You
do criminal
abuse
things.
them.
What are you
Emotionally
hiding?
abuse.
And you're forced to admit, thoughts you've had, bad thoughts.
Oh, it's verbal abuse, but it still will turn into emotional abuse.
You've had, things you've done. You get to the point where you'd rather just stay there than just have people looking at you like that, calling you things like that,
Wow.
harassment on a daily basis, being under watch. It's
So now, if you want to leave, you become a captive and a target. Wow.
It's like the difference between if you were in a minimal security prison where you have some freedom, and then you're going to be sent to the high security prison, you know, and you just say, okay, I'll stay, but I'll just go back to the minimal security prison because at least,
See?
I'm treated like somewhat of a person as opposed to...
Wow.
So that's what it's like, and it was my job.
And they put church before Scientology. And this is how they treat them.
To do that at one point, and I knew they'd be able to break me because I wanted to leave so...
She said she knew they'd be able to break her because she knew that she also would be a handler. That was her job, to be a handler, to break others. What goes around comes around.
That, and my resolve was really strong, but so were a lot of people's. And I knew they'd break me, over and over and over. And I thought, I'm going to have to do something where then I just have to go. There's no choice. And the rule was, okay, first you're allowed to have kids. Then when I went into this organization, you got sent away to lower org. About a year before I decided to leave, they made a new rule. And that rule was, if you get pregnant, you get an abortion. If you won't get an abortion, you're out.
Wow.
And you're out, and they give you a big bill.
So you lose your job altogether.
You lose your job altogether. Yeah. And you're still considered a degraded being and all of that, but they just kick you out. First, they very strongly try and coerce you to get an abortion, and I know several people who did, which I can go over.
Try to handle you to get an abortion.
So I thought, and I wanted children too, and I had been married since the age of 15, and I hated being married. My husband and I didn't get along at all.
She was married since the age of 15. She never tells how old her husband was when she got married. But if she doesn't want to get married at the age of 15, then why is she married at the age of 15? So that they can hide their their pedophilia on children. That's why she's not even 16, she's 15. Who wants to marry a 15-year-old girl? A pedophile.
We could not talk about it because the main reason was I didn't want to be there and I could never tell him. And it was just ridiculous, being married at 15. I'd known him for 3 months. I didn't know him.
She knew him for 3 months. She didn't know him, and she had to marry him. Wow.
So I didn't want to be married.
Oh, something else. She didn't want to be married. Something else I can say, the difference between her and that Tory Christmas bitch. Because the Christmas bitch, she's fake. She's covert Scientology. It's just something she has to do to act so she can be believable. A lot of people can believe her, but I don't have a belief system and I know she's lying. The difference between her and Tori is Tori smiles all the time. She's always smiling, like they're supposed to. Hey, come in. The way they greet you, she still smiles. She's not smiling. And she's serious. She's not smiling.
But I had the impression that I would never want to be married again because this is what marriage is like. But I did want children, so I thought, I'll have a baby. They'll let me go. I'll have a baby, without having to get married again, because I never want to get married again, which is not true now. That's how I felt then. And I thought that
she said they'll let me go.
If I refuse to have an abortion, if they can't break me on that, which I knew they couldn't once I was pregnant, then they won't be able to do anything other than let me go. And I won't have my husband come with me because I don't want to be married to him, and I didn't really think he wanted to be married to me anyway. And at that point, I wanted to leave so badly, but I felt like I was a bad person, so I felt that I shouldn't.
See, they make you feel like you're a bad person because that's the mind control they have over you.
Make him come out too, because that would be even worse. Up till after I left, I still thought it's my fault. I'm a bad person. I've done things wrong. I can't, confront my crimes, but I have to leave because I can't stand it. Because that's the whole thing in Scientology is that if anything goes wrong, if you get sick, if you break something, it's your fault. You've done something wrong. It's never like someone else's fault. So that's what I thought.
That's how they do the targets, the assets. It's our fault that we are targeted. It's not their fault they're targeting us. It's our fault. It's something we've done bad.
So,
but even if you have done something bad, who are they to be the judge and jury?
This was in October of '97, and in about December.
That came in
December,
98.
I got pregnant.
90.
And then, but I didn't tell anybody. And I was very sick. I had really bad morning sickness. I couldn't eat. I was throwing up about 20 times a day. I was throwing up nothing, so I wasn't eating, just, going through the motions. But I would just,
She also talks about the food she had to eat while she was pregnant.
I'd be working and I'd run downstairs to the bathroom and do it really quietly so no one would hear me and no one knew. And I was so terrified to leave, but I decided because I was so sick, I was so tired, that I was just going to take off. I was going to get on a plane and go stay with my family in England for a little while I got better, and then I would come back. I planned on following their policies on leaving, because if I just took off and didn't come back, they would declare me a suppressive person, which means that my mom, my sister, my grandma, my whole family would never speak to me again, and I didn't want that to happen. At that point, I was planning on still being a Scientologist, being a good Scientologist and all of that.
You just
wanted to leave.
Yeah, in the C organization.
Yeah, I just
Being a good Scientologist mean targeting people
couldn't take it
and being a handler.
anymore. So my plan was to go to England for a little while, then come back and do their process of leaving, and then leave. So that's what I did, and
I want to see if I can find a good part of this.
messed everything up for her.
Because you two couldn't talk about this either.
No. In fact, my mom never even told Zoe about it. Zoe found out about it because she saw a report that my husband had written on my dad, saying it was all my dad's fault. We'll go into that later too, but...
Wait, I thought it was nobody's fault but your own. Now it's your dad's fault.
So that was what almost got to me, but I just kept saying to her, Mom, I can't live my life. I've lived my life based off of what you want, and I'm finally doing what I want.
Even her mom was a handler.
I can't now change it because of what you're saying Zoe wants. I said, I feel very, very bad. I don't know what to say to her, but all I know is the most important thing is, I have to do what I want to do, and this is what I want to do. And she just never got it. She never got it to this day.
Because she's a handler. Handlers don't get it.
I said, I'll go back on April 1st. I'll be back on April 1st. And I actually came back 2 weeks earlier. I flew back and I stayed with my dad for a couple weeks. I went and saw a doctor. I started getting everything under control.
But were you able to start getting sleep and eating?
Yeah, because at my aunt's house, she got me some prenatal vitamins, some folic acid, which is important to take, all these things. I was able to start eating. Because part of the reason was I was very sick, and the other part of the reason was the food there is hard enough to eat when you're feeling well. When I was feeling nauseous, I could not stomach, the food that they served.
Wow, these people are just slaves.
And I could stomach it. And my morning sickness went from being sick 10 times a day or more to once every couple of days, which is a bit more normal. And I got a lot of rest, and I helped at their work for a couple hours a day, and I talked with my aunt. My aunt's like a wonderful lady, and she was really helping me. I was saying, my mom's saying I should get an abortion. What do you think I should do? And she said, you should do whatever you want to do. My dad had said to me, you do whatever you want to do.
Funny, they have on black too.
He said, if you want to keep the baby, and he got in big trouble for this, just for saying, if you want to keep the baby, I will support you. You can come live with me, you can work for me, I'll help you. And he got in really big trouble. My mom screamed at him, you're a suppressive person, I'm going to get you declared. All kinds of stuff. So, anyway, so I ended up going back. 2 weeks before I said I would. They didn't know I was in LA, because they'd come and get me. I stayed with my dad, I went and saw a doctor, got everything even more under control, and then I went back on April 1st. And that was really hard to do.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was really, really, really hard to do. I was terrified.
But were you stronger feeling than you had been when you left?
Yeah. But I was still terrified, and I was dreading the next month, or however long it was going to take. I was really, really dreading it. But I was that or never see my family again. So I did it. I went back. But I said, I'm going to stay with my dad, and every day I will come in and I will get a confession. I'll do everything you want, but I'm going to stay with my dad because I need proper food, I need a nice bed, I need all this stuff. You can't provide that for me.
Because you were having to get a security check.
The confession. So
what's the purpose of that when somebody's leaving? Why is that happening?
Because, one of the reasons is
to make sure you don't tell that they're gang stalking people.
To leave is because they have over to withhold. They have things they've done that are wrong that they're withholding. And if you get them to admit these things and handle them, they will,
They'll stop wanting to leave.
yeah, they'll stop wanting to leave. But at that point, I was pregnant, I was going to leave anyway. But so that at that point, it was more for a security purpose. They wanted to find out. Most of the questions they asked me were security related. You know, do you have any documents? Have you stolen it?
Do you have any documents? That's to prove they're doing game stalking. That's one thing that none of these ex-Scientologists are saying. However, she's telling the truth as much as she is allowed to tell and still live without having to go through hell.
Anything? Have you? Do you plan on going to a newspaper? Do you plan on?
Do you plan on going to a newspaper? Why would she go to a newspaper? Why? Why would they ask her, do you plan on going to a newspaper? Unless she had something to tell. Because she used to be a handler.
Speaking derogatorily about Scientology.
See?
You know, those were the main questions. So, and then it was like, have you done anything wrong on the 2D, which means have you done anything like sexually bad, like had bad thoughts, you know, had sex with someone else, nothing of which you've done. But they, of course, are going to ask that because that's another thing they consider is a lot of the bad things you do are related to sexual things. So I said, I'm going to stay with my dad, and I'm going to do, I'll come in every day and do whatever you want me to do, but I'm going to stay with my dad. And they said, you can't. You have to, and I knew they'd say this, you have to stay
Handlers.
in your, they said you can stay in your old room, but you have to stay there. And I said, well, what am I going to eat? You know, like, oh, we'll work it out or whatever.
What am I going to eat?
With the security guard that I wanted to stay with my dad, and he finally said, he was threatening me, and then he finally said, okay, this process is going to take 3 or 4 days. So if in 3 or 4 days you're not done, you can go back and stay with your dad. So I said, okay, write that down. So they had the security chief, Richard Metzler, write down.
She said, I want
if you're
that
not done,
in writing.
You're going to be done with your process by this date. And if you're not, you can go back and stay with your dad while you finish it. So 4 days later, I don't even think they'd started my confession. They may or may not have. That's another big thing is you have to have a confession before you leave. They had no one to do it. That's why people are there for 6 months to a year. But I knew they were going to rush me in a bit. They didn't want the staff seeing me getting more and more pregnant because it would give people ideas.
How do you get more and more pregnant? It is funny.
And you weren't looking pregnant.
I didn't look pregnant at all until after I left. You couldn't tell at all. No one knew, and then everyone, the few people who did know, were told in no uncertain terms, can they tell anybody else? So 4 days later, I said, okay, I'm going back to stay at my dad's house because I'm not done yet. And they said, if you do that, you will be put under non-interpolation order, which means if you do one more thing that's, that upsets somebody, for instance, saying I'm going back to my dad's house or anything, if you don't cooperate 100%, you will then be declared a suppressive person.
Wow.
So they might as well have said, if you go back to your dad's house, you'll be declared a suppressive person.
Right.
And I said, well, I have this note. The security chief wrote it. I got it written down because that's everything. Get everything in writing. I have it written down that I can go back. And he said, we just wrote that so that you'd stay. And you have no choice but to stay. And if you go back, this is what's going to happen.
Incredible.
So I just thought, fine, I'll just stick it out and just get this over with because I really had no choice at that point. So then
Okay, she had no choice at that point. You can watch the rest of it, Scientology, the story of Kate. It's on Mark Bunker page. It seems like he wants everyone to know about Scientology. I mean, it seems like he has dedicated his YouTube page to tell on Scientology. But it really doesn't matter. Because, Scientology, they run everything. They even run YouTube. But for some reason, they're not stopping his views. Wonder why. But they're not stopping his views. But maybe, I don't know. I do have a reason of why his page is like this, and they're not stopping it. But anyways, you can watch the rest of it. I just wanted you to hear her, the female they're talking to, the girl they're talking to. I just wanted you to hear Astra. I just wanted you to hear Astra tell her story and what she's gone through. I also wanted you to see Astra's face and her sister's face and her dad's face. See, these people are not smiling. But I've seen a lot of ex-Scientologists. All they do is smile, smile, smile. That's because they're still under mind control. And I guess I have some more I want to come back with, but to me that's enough for one day. I'm trying to hurry up and get to the 1,000 videos so I can kick this goddamn insane habit. Shit talker out.